So, local LLMs, quite a viral topic, I would say, recently. And it's a very tempting idea to free up yourself from paying monthly, like hundreds of euros or dollars, depending where you are, for subscriptions and run this awesome technology in your own hardware. I've been playing with them like for 2 years, but not like day by day. Recently, it seems like people start to believe that we can actually replace cloud frontier models with local LLMs and use them for wipe coding and wipe debugging. Or people are using local LLMs for let's say, slightly less heavy tasks like image generation, or using them in chat mode, or for example for commit generation, for some, I don't know, writing comments to your code or something like this, slight refactoring, and claiming that it's, I don't know, it's a replacement for Claude Sonnet or ChatGPT 5.5, which is, in my opinion, ridiculous. But anyways, every week some new model pop up with better capabilities, optimized for coding and so on. And I've personally been playing with these models recently, except this one, we're gonna talk about it a bit further. But I've been playing with this 80 billion param model, and I was able even to generate some Magento code with it. But the biggest problem with these models is that they are incapable of using tools properly. I always bumped into like absolute inability of using any kind of tools. Like usually they cannot create even a file or read a file in agent mode. And nowadays we have perfect open source agents like OpenCode, Cline, the Continue, and so on. So there are pretty cool open source agents which you can run right from your IDE. Yeah, but the missing part is hardware and models. Because the higher you go with your model, the more expensive and sophisticated hardware you need. For example, for this 80 billion param model, I need to run it on at least 76 gigabytes of VRAM or unified memory if it goes about max. So it's a lot. It's 3 RTX 5090 or Mac Studio for 94 gigabytes. But we'll talk about hardware later. So, yeah, we had this amazing conversation in the LinkedIn because a lot of people are telling in the comments to this Mark Schuss post that they are running LLMs locally and it works perfectly. They do everything locally, like no need for any type of subscription. And I question myself, am I stupid, or I don't know, like how it even possible? Because sometimes I fail to execute tasks with the frontier model with GTP 5.5. It has like trillions parameters and still fail to do some, let's say, some complex tasks. GTP 5.5 is amazing, is incredible. It can do almost everything I want, but it still sometimes fails. And then we go to the models like 20 billion params, 24 billion params, which is 100 times less capable. And we are expecting from them to be the replacement. So I don't know. I still cannot get it. But anyway, this is why this video is made, to do some reality check and do some calculations. I still capable to run models on my hardware just to check their intelligence. I don't have a ton of VRAM, but I have RAM, so I can run them and just wait for experiment. My hardware is pretty okay. I have 64 gigabyte of RAM and 12 of VRAM. It's damn slow when you run something big, but still, it's enough to make a decision whether I need to upgrade my local machine so I can run those models faster or not. It's a smart way to spend money or not. So I still can run them and test the intelligence. So yeah. Yeah, people say they are learning for a year, for 2 years, everything works just fine. And here we have one guy who suggested to test the incredible model, which works better than those I've tested before, and I can confirm it. And yeah, since this model drains all my RAM and all my VRAM, I wasn't able to do this screencast, but I filmed the process on my phone. So yeah, and I was able to generate Magento module with this simple prompt. So create Magento 2 module that listens to successful order placement and add order comment, order exported pending. So yeah, pretty straightforward task. And as you can see, it's really done a great job. It cut this task into 6 steps and executed every step. So I'm pretty glad with these results. I tested this model in 2 agents, in the Continue and in C-line. So what's the biggest difference between these two? The Continue has tinier prompts, but the downside is that, yeah, tinier prompts, less instructions, and model can behave sometimes in not the expected way. And C-line has bigger prompts, more instruction, more skills, more MCPs, but again, it requires to have pretty big and capable model to work with it. And as you can see, this model can handle C-line, so which is amazing. You can run it locally. Yeah, first I started with Continue. And yeah, Continue has pretty awesome configurations. As you can see, it drained my VRAM and RAM, everything in red. 61 from 62, it's, yeah, it's the borderline of my system. But yeah, good news are that I still was capable to run it. So yeah, and Continue started to think, which was very promising, reading directories. But then error happened. And so the problem was that the model returns wrong response, so the prompt wasn't that good, or model cannot handle what Continue wants to see in the response. I switched to C-line, and this worked much better. It starts to sync and start splitting the task into subtasks, which is great. I don't know why internet works so slow. You can see I had some progress. First steps started to be executed. Here we see how first file started to pop up, which is great. So yeah, agent works. So the question is, what is the limit of it? And I would say task pretty straightforward, generate some basic Magento stuff. I really doubt it can handle some complex stuff, or even to generate some checkout layout or changes or admin adjustment. So yeah, it's only for something really basic and simple. So you still gonna need to have subscription to Codex, Claude, Cursor, whatever. So yeah. And the most important question here, how to make it to run efficiently. The most efficient way to run it is to add VRAM, to not enter CPU and RAM territory, because once model is bigger than VRAM, it slows down things dramatically. So in my case, I have 12 gigabytes of VRAM, so I need to add 64 more, which is like two 5090s. So in Bulgaria, the cheapest one cost 3,000, almost 4,000 euros. So 7,000 euro and something for this upgrade. I believe I can have this Codex subscription for years for this money. It doesn't make sense, and Codex provides much more value because it can do instrumental debugging, like vibe debugging. We've talked about it in previous videos. It can generate pretty complex crowds, like everything you want. So it's not gonna be even close to Codex. So you invest this crazy money and get, I don't know, not even 20% of capabilities of Codex or Claude. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it sounds ridiculous. Another option is to have three of them. I still have 3 slots for video cards. Of course, it's not gonna fit into my case, but I can install 2 of them remotely, one inside. A bit cheaper, but again, it's Radeon, so the support of Ollama and other stuff is questionable. It's been improved over time, and I believe it's gonna be improved even more, but still, but again, cheaper option. But still a ton of money, like a lot of money to get what? And we need also to include to this the price for electricity, because this assembly, when you work with it, gonna eat definitely more than 1 kilowatt per hour. So yeah, it's also, it's not only hardware, let's say, need to be taken into account. And third option, it's better option when it goes about electricity, a slightly lower speed, as far as I know, but yeah, still almost 5,000 euro, and it's completely different system. It's Mac. So yeah, so we have these 3 options to run these agents locally. Like, I don't know whether it's like it makes sense to waste so much money for getting less. Yeah, you spend money and get less. The only advantage I see, if you work with some secret data, you have, I don't know, Coca-Cola recipe in your code, and then you don't need to push anything to Claude, and you have no other options than run something locally. Okay, then it makes sense. But other than that, especially for Magento development, I don't know. Guys. Yeah, it still looks pretty awesome comparing to what we had last year. So it's huge progress over 1 year, definitely. The fact that I can generate a Magento code in agent mode, like vibe code, locally is amazing. So let's see where we can get in 1 or 2 years. But at this point, like, I see no reason to mess up with this.